Yo everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about in Zoroark. This might be the single most broken deck post-rotation, and already now it's starting to get a ton of love. And now we just got the Zekrom from Ascended Heroes. I don't know how that will affect the deck yet, I haven't tested it, but let's talk about it. In Zoroark might be one of the best decks. It has the tradability, it has a ton of options, and it's very flexible. Let's dive into some of these points. Most decks lose power post rotation. This one barely changes. It's the same engine, it's still a Zoroark with the tradability, it still has a Reshiram. It gets new tools and Ascended Heroes by getting access to Ins Zekrom, and I think it's also a Ins Vanilla, so there's a new card that basically is Exodia for Ins Zoroark, where you can take 3 extra prizes if you have every Ins evolution in play. Not that it will happen, but it is an option. It's super flexible because you can play it around like a slow setup engine. You can play it like a toolbox. You can play. There's a ton of different ways. And then it's meta-proof. That what I mean by meta-proof is it can keep up even in such a tight meta as we have right now with Dragapult, Gardevoir, Charizard, stuff like that. And Zoroark still competes. It's not bad. It has a great draw engine. It has a ton of options open, so you can actually do a lot of stuff with this deck. And it's very hard to counter. But it still has some stuff about it. The matchup spread is very interesting. There's a slow setup decks, and Zoroark dominates, especially if you played like with Cyrano as I do. The reason for that is turn 1 you get up at maybe 3 Zoruas. If you get 3 Zoruas in play, you are more than happy. You use Cyrano to find the Zoroarks in turn 2 and start using the trade ability. As soon as the trade ability goes, you don't need more cards in hand. Like, you can always draw what you need. And because of how Reshiram's secondary attack works, where you do 170, no matter what they send out in the beginning, you can always KO it, unless it's an EX. And in the mid game, you are relying on them damaging you, so you can use Reshiram's first attack, which does 70 plus however much damage is on you. This means that you can also pressure high HP EX Pokemons like Charizard, Dragapult, Mega Kankashkan, Mega Lachas, and stuff like that. The only issue I see with the deck is sometimes it feels a bit clunky, and it's very hard to master it. So the weaknesses is the high skill ceiling. It has a very high skill ceiling because you need a lot of matchup knowledge. When we talk about matchup knowledge, it means what do they have in that deck, what should I play around in this game, should I play around Diamanitan, taking multiple knockouts, should I play around Reshiram, should I play around Zoroark, should I play around maybe a Cornerstone Mask? There's a lot of stuff to think about. Should I play around one big turn? Should I play around multiple small turns? Or how do I do? And that's a lot of knowledge. It is something to always keep track of, and also requires you to know your deck list in and out. What cards is still available for me? And if you misplay, it can be punished very hard. It can also punish misplays very hard, but it requires you to know what lines you should go for when they make a misplay. Now we looking about why it could be a top tier choice. It's very consistent when it set ups. Sometimes it breaks, but every deck does that every now and then. But when it's going, it's hyper consistent. As soon as you get the first Zoroark, you are in the consistency part. It has a lot of adaptability, like with Zekrom, Reshiram, Klinklang, like a lot of different tools to work around with. It is very efficient at taking prizes when needed, but it can also take a slow game if that's what you need. And there's a lot of skill expression in the deck. It works a little bit like Gardevoir pre-rotation of Kirlia, where you could use Refinement and you played around having a few Gardevoir or Kirlias on your bench. Except for this deck, you still have your attackers on the bench, which sometimes feels a little bit better. And if you use it with, let's say, energy switches and ends PP up and stuff like that, it's having a lot more skill expression. And this is why I think this deck could be a top tier choice. Let's go into a game example. I will talk about what to do, how the deck works, and we will go a little bit more in depth with some of the stuff. So see you guys in the game. Okay, so we're going into the game now. This is a low rank game, I know that, but it's mainly to showcase how the deck functions. Usually you would prefer going second with the deck, but it can also do fine going first. Because of the fact that Zorua is a dark type, it's not as big of an issue if you get a Zorua in the active going first, because they can't one-shot it the same way as they can if you are any other type than dark type, because they can't use Pirelia's jungle, which is also a big upside to this deck. Pirelia's jungle is a deck that kills some decks. If you play around like Gardevoir and you don't get anything good for the setup hand, it can be very, very tough. Let's see what we start with. Okay, here I would probably take the Reshiram, yeah. The reason to send up a Reshiram is because I need something a little bit more beefy that I can also get back if needed. And I would prefer actually put an energy onto it, because then turn 2 maybe I can get my, or turn 3 I can get my Soruas. Okay, so this is Goldingo. Let's see. So Darmanitan is a great option into the Goldingo matchup. Darmanitan is super effective, so it hits for 180. And generally speaking, we have most of the tools I want. Pass my turn. So in this case here, we are playing it a bit slower, I would imagine. That's at least my game plan going into this game. It is to take it a bit down, get my Toadstool fast, because if I get Toadstool, I force them into targeting that. Else they can't get energy back from the discard. And that's the entire reason behind Toadstool in the deck. I am guaranteed to draw a lot, because I have Lily's Determination in hand. And I can get a double Evo, I can get a Team Evo play next turn off, so that's also very fine by me. He's probably looking for only an Earth Vessel. Oh, right, to fight it for fighting and middle energy. Put middle, no. Hmm. Lunar Cycle one away. Okay, that makes sense. Genesect. That means you can find the. Okay. So I think in this specific matchup, I wouldn't mind getting my Darmanitan in play. So we find Darumaka. Shuffle. 8 new cards. On these two. Perfect, so I get Toadstool. And I have priced most of my Zoroarks, which is not good, but still playable. If he KOs Reshiram, I have another Reshiram in hand, which is making this fine, somewhat. He could also go for boss KO on my Toadstool, which is probably the better option for him. What I am thinking about here is maybe trying to lock him down in the late part with Maractus. So I'm not willing to get rid of Maractus at any point because of how this matchup works. If he takes a KO here, I'm gonna Iono him, get him low in hand size. Unless it's my Zoroark Chaos here, then I'm gonna do something completely different. Which will look weird, but it will work. Then I'm gonna abuse the Genesect, drag that up, and then use Maractus to slowly but surely damage it down and lock it inactive. As soon as I can see, okay, he can... Huh? Okay, so here we wanna do that Ents Castle into an Iono. The Iono reduces his hand size, less risk of him having energies. There's no support I need to get back. So I can use the trade ability, get rid of the Porphin. I'm not needing that anymore. Secret box, open up some tools. I don't want to use it just yet, but it could be fun at some point. Virtuous Flare. This is gonna be important to note here. 170 plus the 90 from the Damanitan. If I utilize that, it's gonna one-shot. So what I can do is hit 2 of his Golden Ghosts with Virtuous Flare, and then go for a Damanitan, double knockout. It does work. It is a little bit more tough to set up, but it can be an option. Then he is drawing most of his deck. Like, all the time. That's how Goldingo works, it draws a lot of cards. 2 Zoroarks for 2 energies. No? Okay, this guy is misplaying there. I think it was a mistake he didn't get the 2 energies. He would get the 2 energies here and then go for probably a KO. That's my thought process here. He should go for the KO if he can, but it requires 6 energy, which is also very important. Goldingo requires a lot of energy to one-shot. No, wait, he can't! That's right, I have Toadscruel. That's why we have a Toadscruel. That's to stop him from getting that up. And here you see the power of Toadscruel. Because he discards to draw, then use coin bonuses to draw. Okay. That makes sense. I kinda have to do this. Okay. So I can get rid of this, the bear, and Ents Castle. Then we would probably like a boss. And what else do we need? Probably a Night Stretcher wouldn't be too bad. Then we wanna go for the Ghost into this one. And then we wanna hit it for 170. What I am doing here is I'm setting up for one turn where I can really mess him up. And I don't think he is seeing the angle I'm seeing right here. Still doesn't work. He really want to use those superior energy retrievals to try KO here. And here you can go for a different angle because you can see, okay, he's out of resources. I am gonna use Maractus to corner him. And this matchup is actually also why I have Cornerstone Mask in the deck. Because that opens up even more lockdown potential. It is one of the few cards I am thinking about cutting because it can make it more inconsistent. But in general, this is how you play Ents. He will get a KO here. That is most certain. Yup. places the middle energy and then one shot. When he does that, no, okay, that's with the Manitan. Mm, discard all energy. Yep. Lily. And here we put him into a very, very tough scenario. Because I am gonna do this. And that is gonna take a multi KO. That's 4 prizes in one turn. And this is some of the angles you're looking for when you play Zoroark. Because right now I haven't been able to really have any Zoroarks where I get my last 2. So now I can set up the good draw engine. Where is my last Ends Castle? In the discard, okay. Okay, that's the new one. But yeah, now he sets up Pheasantipity, which is also fine. What I can do is probably boss into one-shotting with Darmanitan. And this is one of the reasons you might have Air Balloon in the deck. Yeah, you still can't take them back. You see, I effectively just close it out on Goldingo. He can't play the game because he can't get stuff back from the discard. And that's how you play in Zoroark. If you would like the list, would like me to do more content on this deck, let me know. I can also do a stream on it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It helps me a ton if you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And maybe even leave a comment down below. It helps with the algorithm. I know a lot of content creators say it, but it does help a ton. So hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys next time. Peace out, stay safe, and take care.